What we're watching is the trailer one of all of these movies. We are trying to remove our biases of how much we enjoyed or didn't enjoy any of these films.
There's just one metric. Does this get you more hyped for the movie, right?
Yeah.
Does this get asses in seats?
Welcome back to the break room. It's trailer season, and because of the occasion, we thought it would be fun to go back in time and rank every Marvel trailer in phases 1 and 2 right now for this video in our Marvel trailer tier list. I set that up like there's a graphic, but there's no graphic. I'm John Costa. Joining me today, he's the blah of new Rockstars. It's Zach Huddleston.
In a world where my trailer takes will be the best.
Unfortunately, she's not going to make the final cut. It's Gina, Ippolito.
But I told my extended family to watch.
They're all here for the premiere. Oh no!
They made themed snacks.
Hey, we're here talking about some Marvel movies of the past. But if you're a fan of Marvel movies of the current and the future, head over to nerdriot.shop. We got shirts like this Underdogs shirt with all of our Thunderbolts or our new Avengers. Gina's rocking a Superman Clark Kent
Secret
design.
Identity is the name of that shirt.
He's looking at you wherever you go.
You know what? This was never a good seller. I assume it's still for sale.
I like it.
It's one of my favorite shirts, the Breakroom logo shirt. It's a great logo. I wear it all the time. I don't know if anybody else does.
I've got one. I've got one.
I love that line.
Mine's in a different color, maybe.
We worked really hard on that line, and then no one liked it.
I have multiple of these shirts, and just the other day I was wearing another one. Walking on the streets of Santa Monica, a man walking in the opposite direction, coming towards me, big smile on his face. You know, he could have been ready to murder me.
Whoa.
But as we got closer, he's like, "New Rockstars Breakroom?"
He didn't recognize your face? He recognized your shirt?
Well, no, it might have been unrelated to the shirt, but I think he recognized my face.
Okay.
And he's like, "I just got done watching the episode."
Hey!
And I was like, it's always fun to get recognized IRL.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lie.
Oh. You think that guy just pointed at Zach and got really specific
Gina,
and nailed it?
If I were going to lie, do you think I would have gone with something as mundane as a man on the sidewalk in Santa Monica recognized? Get out of here.
So here's how this is gonna work. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, there's a link in the description with all of the trailers that we're gonna watch. Because what we're watching is the trailer one of all of these movies. So it might not be the most iconic trailer for all of these movies. We didn't want to do the teasers because sometimes those are too short. We didn't want to do trailer 2 because sometimes that's like not as fun. We're doing trailer 1 for all of these things. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, we had to cut our reactions out so that YouTube doesn't take this video down. But you can watch them in this playlist that we have and then come back and hear us talk about them and rank them. But if you're watching on Twitch, if you didn't know we do this live on Twitch, we're going to be reacting to all of these trailers with you guys. But first, we're going back in time for this episode. There's some trailers that are to come that I wanted to get your guys' kind of vibes on. It's funny to do sort of like what trailer are you most anticipating in the next 18 months, let's say, 24 months, something like that. But, it is like the first look we get of all of these movies. And there is a little bit of, that's when the hype really kind of starts to build for me. So I wanted to kind of gauge your guys' I'm going to list off a bunch of upcoming movies, and then we can kind of just generally talk about what we're excited about and what we think we might get in some of these trailers. So, of course, there's like some big upcoming Marvel movies, Doomsday, Secret Wars, Spider-Man Brand New Day. You could include Beyond the Spider-Verse in that group. Those are exciting. Of course, on the Star Wars side of things, you've got Mandalorian and Grogu. That's coming out. DC, they're ramping up, DC Studios. We've got Supergirl coming out next year. The Batman Part 2, that's a little further out on the horizon, but that will be very exciting. I loved the first trailer for the Batman. And then you've got some of these other movies like Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. You've got Dune Messiah coming up. You've got Avatar Fire and Ash.
I believe we're getting another Jordan Peele movie next year.
Absolutely.
As of yet, undescribed.
There's a ton of exciting movies. And, sometimes it's like when you list all those movies out, they all seem really great in concept. And then you see that first trailer and it's like, ooh, is my excitement for this movie going up? Or is it going down?
I admit that the Thunderbolts trailers amped my excitement up because great song choice and great editing in those trailers. Like editing it to the songs that they use. Like, ooh.
Here's what I'll say. Obviously, we here at the Breakroom, the new Rockstars Network, certified Disney shills. Okay? Every month I cash my Disney check. No, but we're not.
You share that with us?
Yeah, no. I keep it all to myself. But here's the thing. I think even Marvel haters have to admit their hit rate on first trailers is so high.
Agreed.
Regardless of what you think of the end product, the final film,
Yeah.
their trailer game is good. And I feel like they're an industry standard setter. And so like all of the Marvel ones you listed, I am so hyped for.
Yeah.
Even like, I mean, movies I didn't necessarily enjoy. The first Quantumania trailer.
Oh,
Yeah.
really good with the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
it was.
But that's the
Incredible.
thing. Whoever is editing these, they're picking great song choices,
Yes.
and then I always go and like listen to that song
and they
for
find
like
a way
week.
to edit. I mean, again, the Brave New World trailers with the lines coming through and the kind of split screen. I mean, Wakanda Forever.
Tears.
Tears.
Yeah.
Literally,
Tears.
we were
Yes.
live on the
Yeah.
Break Room.
So,
They know how to do
when
it.
that
I think
trailer
like
came out.
trailers I'm anticipating, keeping it separate from like the films themselves. The Marvel ones have to be near the top. And then you know who else tends to hit home runs with his trailers? Christopher Nolan.
Sure.
I mean, that
that's true.
Oppenheimer
I am-
first
yeah,
trailer
yeah.
and like
I'm excited about Odyssey.
And I'll say this. Zack Snyder was pretty good with the trailer. That Man of Steel trailer, I was in college at the time. I remember running to my buddy's dorm room to be like, we gotta watch this trailer
you're a
again.
little
It was
baby.
so good.
so you're saying like Rebel Moon 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Is what you're most hyped for?
But it's important to note, right, that like we are going to be ranking the trailers. We are trying to remove our biases of how much we enjoyed or didn't enjoy any of these films. Going back a little bit, you know, new Rockstars, the Break Room, we kind of cook with the trailers. We're doing breakdowns. We live with these trailers for a long time, doing as much research as we can.
But then
That's
when the
why I'm
movie comes
excited.
out, we move on pretty fast.
I know. But that's why it's exciting to kind of go back in time to a place where like we weren't over analyzing maybe you could say all of these trailers.
A simpler time, if you will.
Yeah, where there's just one metric. Does this get you more
Are you hyped?
hyped for the movie, right?
Yeah.
Does this get asses in seats? Yeah.
Hey, so should we just jump right into
Yes.
it? We're gonna go in order of release, starting with Iron Man.
Okay, hell yeah.
Brian, whenever you're ready, let's take a look at that trailer.
Man. Again, great songs.
Hell yeah.
Oh God, you picked the exact right scene for the trailer.
Yeah, I can fly.
How many songs do they use in this trailer?
And that's why we're on Twitch only today.
That's 3 songs in one trailer.
Ooh.
God,
Okay,
so
well,
good.
I mean,
Pretty
granted, it's
good.
been damn near 20 years.
Yep.
So,
Has it?
2008. I mean,
Yeah,
it's closer to 20 than it is to 10, is all I'll say.
Last year.
And so it's like, the world of trailers has evolved a lot, and this shows its age a little bit, just in how much dialogue
A lot of dialogue.
it has. I think like as we get deeper, I think we'll already see like that start to diminish near the end of phase 1 and into phase 2. But as we were saying, like great action shots. It really showcased, to its credit, the humor, and particularly the like RDJ wit
Yeah.
that is such a big feature of not only this film but all of phase 1 and into the Avengers movie. And like they did it, like the gags work.
Yeah.
I think, that one of the things that it has going for it is it's a perfect tone match for the movie.
Yes.
You watch that trailer and you go see that movie and it's like, oh, that is exactly the movie that I was thinking I was getting when I
And
watched
when you
this.
think,
And-
right, like this was the same year as Dark Knight, or the year after Dark Knight, right? Like right around the same time. And like how different this establishes, like, yeah, we're not trying to be that.
Yeah, totally.
This is a
totally.
different kind of movie
Yes.
that can be good in a totally different way. Yeah.
I think one thing that we should do, Gina pointed it out while we were watching, is like rate the tagline a little bit, right? This one was
Great tagline.
heroes are not
Born,
born, they're,
they're
built,
built.
Yeah,
which is
it's a
pretty good for Iron Man.
Really
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Really
also,
good.
love like heavy on Act 1. There's a whole lot of the Afghanistan desert,
There's almost
right?
no Act 3, right?
Yes.
No Obi
Yeah.
versus
Just
Tony.
hints
Well,
at,
that would give it all away.
just
I guess.
hints at that. But that is unique and like, but also like you can watch the first 25 seconds of that and you not know that it's a Marvel movie. If you didn't get the title, the
Yeah.
Marvel title card,
Yeah,
you'd be
yeah.
like, this is whatever. This is another action movie, whatever.
Yeah. But it hit all the things that a trailer should. It's like, hey, here's a great scene from the movie set to a banger. Here's this amazing tagline. Here's the costume reveal. I'm surprised that they gave us the costume reveal in the trailer. And then some great, like, funny one-liners from him. I feel like in less capable hands, like, oh yeah, I can fly, that line would have been like, give me a break. Yeah. But because it's him, you're like,
and there's almost no heartstring tugging on this. They're not trying to get you to. They're
Even
like, this is a badass movie.
Was a joke, right? The moment between him and Pepper, she makes the joke of like, oh, I just don't want to do any job searching. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I think. Let's talk about how we're going to rank these trailers for a second here, because I'll say this right now, not S tier for me.
Yeah, agreed.
And part of the reason why is I don't remember anything from that trailer. Yeah. I just watched it fresh, and it was great, but it's not like something that is stuck around. I don't really remember
Gina
it very
and two grumpy motherfuckers show.
No, but I think it's age.
It's a great trailer.
Great for its era, but I think the age also shows. Right? Like, there's no, like, if that movie were coming out today, I think we were all in agreement Marvel would have a much better trailer.
I think for me, the only thing that would make me dock a couple points is it was long. Like, there were like I said, they used 3 different songs in there. I feel like they could have given me that first action shot of him, like, blowing things up, and then like a later shot of him like the costume reveal, and that's like kind of enough for me. Like, it was a little bit too long.
So you agree it's not S tier?
I'm not saying that.
Now, there's a lot of criticism.
I think it's a debate, A or B. We don't want to like blow our load, and now we get into Thor: Dark World, and we're like, God damn, that's a trailer. You know what I mean?
I'm still debating between A and S and A. That means you gotta put it.
It's not S. It's not S.
I think it's an A tier trailer.
We can leave it. Let's do A. Let's do A for now. Let's do A for now.
We can readjust later.
I saw people, and again, maybe this is a reflection of how good the movie is. I see a bunch of people in the chat saying like, man, I gotta go watch Iron Man now.
Yes!
And it's like, you watch that trailer and it's like, God damn, I wanna go watch
that. When, at the top of the show, we said, is this trailer gonna put asses in seats? And this
That's
succeeded.
putting an ass in a seat. Fair. In fact, I remember being a child and not wanting to go see this movie. I wasn't super into comic book movies at the time. My dad was like, this is a movie we're gonna go see. So
I mean,
on him.
That trailer is speaking dad. That trailer's speaking dad.
It's speaking dad, all right. You're right.
Even the song choice.
You're right.
Son, someday you're gonna have a semi-lucrative career working for nerds.
If only he knew. All right, up next, The Incredible Hulk. Did you remember that movie?
I do. I rewatch it in my rewatch series every time.
Let's do it.
Well, Ed Norton.
I think this is underappreciated.
See a shrink.
Huh?
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
They see a shrink, ironic, because he needs to get smaller.
This makes me want to bump with Iron Man.
It's feeling very like Bourne-esque, right?
Or Transporter.
Yeah, well, not as good. An imitation of Bourne.
It does kind of feel like a USA movie trailer from like the 90s.
They're really cock teasing us by not showing us a big green guy.
This is just here's the third act, guys.
I know, this is literally the best shot in the movie and they're blowing it.
You know what? The second half of this trailer kind of got me.
Yeah, it picks up in the second half for sure. It is very of the time, right? It's very much like the United States is at war and we're doing all this kind of like shots of people running in city streets and stuff. Not a ton of like Brazil, right? Which a lot of the movie takes place in.
Well, it is interesting to see what later became like things that people picked up on as important. Like him at the Pingo Doce plant that then like carried through. Like, they clearly thought this was going to be something
Who would have thought that Tim Blake Nelson and Tim Roth would both have pretty substantial places in the MCU?
Truly.
I think this one, even more than Iron Man, shows its age. Yes. It feels, like we were just saying, feels very Bourne, feels very Transporter, feels almost more 90s than even, like, aughts to me.
You can tell, too, that this is, like, Marvel Studios trying to market to general audiences rather than Marvel Studios being like, here's the next fucking awesome Marvel movie.
Yeah, and I mean,
I guess this is Universal's maybe doing the marketing for this movie.
Yeah, too. I also, it's funny, I just now put together, I kept mentioning The Transporter, directed by Louis Leterrier, or whatever, director of The Transporter, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I think that's a great point. This is like in an era when like comic book movie wasn't guaranteed box office success, and you might be leaning more into the action one man on an adventure kind of a genre.
Yeah. It's a different vibe for sure. I'm gonna dock a couple points because it didn't have a good banger.
No banger.
And also, the more I think about Our Only Hope is Something Incredible, that actually doesn't work as well as I initially thought. I was like, oh yeah, that's great. But it's like, oh yeah, Your Only Hope is like something incredible? Like, of course.
Yeah. I see some people in the chat comparing that tagline to the it's fantastic, say that again moment in the Fan Force.
Yeah. Now, the more I
film.
think about it, it's like Our Only Hope is
It's a little-
something incredible.
And again, this does not make me want to go back and watch the
No. And again, like,
Yeah.
is it because that movie wasn't that great? I don't know.
No. I think to me, as someone who's recently rewatched it, the movie I think is better than what they showed there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like it's also to open the movie with like him talking to Modern Family. Modern Family is like barely in that movie. Like, why is that your first thing?
Yeah.
Like open the like I get it. It's like, oh, I'm trying to stay calm. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry, but yeah, it's not a good representation of the movie itself, I think.
I feel like this is C here.
The chat is saying C right now. I think I would put it at C.
I would also put it at C. The fact that we're all agreed
Consensus
is crazy.
C. So you know what is interesting too? We didn't talk about this before Iron Man. Iron Man was distributed by Paramount.
Yes.
This movie distributed by Universal. I believe until Avengers, they were distributed by Paramount, and then the Disney deal kicks in, and they have the distribution after that. So these trailers are not being done by
Different
Disney.
Different team.
But I am sure people at Marvel Studios have input here, so there's a little bit of a difference there. We also want to thank Vessi. LA has been having some weird weather lately. Sometimes it'll be sunny, and then it'll rain for like 45 minutes, and then it'll be kind of misty for the rest of the day. Hey, be prepared with a pair of Vessis, because they can go anywhere. It's the exact kind of weather to make you appreciate having some weatherproof sneaks. Having a pair of Vessis means you can still walk the dog, go get coffee, run into the office, and, I don't know, goof around in a puddle without having to lug around a backup pair of boots. Every pair of Vessis is lightweight, weatherproof, and durable enough that you can wear them every day without worrying about wearing them out. Lately, I've been wearing the weekend sneaker. There's zero compromise with this pair of Vessis, and they're the best looking sneakers I own, and somehow the most functional ones too. Make every day a little easier by visiting vessi.com/breakroom now for 15% off your first pair at checkout, and start exploring with confidence. The next movie up, I believe, is Thor, or is it Captain America?
It should be Captain America in the next lineup, I think.
You're right, it's Iron Man 2.
Wow,
Okay,
we
there you go.
question.
Because Iron Man 2 was the beginning of Nick Fury's big week.
We question.
Right? Like, that's the first post-credit.
Ryan,
Oh,
I'm
this
sorry.
is so
Shows up.
interesting. This is so interesting. Marvel went a full year without releasing a movie. They did Iron Man in May 2008, The Incredible Hulk in June 2008, and then Iron Man
Wow.
2, May 2010.
You know what? I just realized that in all of my rewatches, I've done 3 so far. I've only done them in universe chronological order. So I always think Captain America comes earlier because that's the first one.
Well, in theory, that would come very first.
Right. But I always think of it as like, oh, well, it's one of the earliest ones that they did, but it's only because it's always the first one I watch.
Brian was right. Print the shirt.
Ryan was right.
Iron Man 2, here we go.
Crazy to go from 1 to 2.
Wait, that's crazy?
Crazy!
Normally they do 3 first.
We pick up now where we left off.
Hell yeah, Gary.
Mr. Stark.
I have successfully privatized world peace.
I mean,
There's
what
the
a
song.
cold open for a
That
trailer is
great.
awesome.
That is great.
Oh, I remember all this. This is
Yeah.
so good.
Again, it's just a better
She
vibe.
throws it out. And that's not in the movie, right? It's
I
like
don't think
slightly
so.
different in the movie.
Hell yeah. Also, you thought he was going into battle, but really it's this?
Yeah. It's good to be back. What a line for a trailer.
Yeah. Oh, and then this, I mean, come on, this is great. The slow pan out to who's going to be the villain.
Yes, I forgot about that
Oh.
shot.
We haven't gotten a log line yet.
No log
there's-
line.
Wow.
I mean, it's really good. It benefits from, it doesn't need to introduce us to a character.
Well, and I think what it does is say at the very jump, hey, did you like that movie? Did you like Iron Man?
We're gonna give you
Here's
the same
fucking
thing.
Iron Man
Yeah,
2,
yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah,
They
yeah.
give you
Yeah.
Tony Stark's personality with a great couple one-liners, and then you see him in the suit, and it's
my knock little heavy on the whiplash.
The whiplash stuff doesn't always work for me.
It's
I think
Mickey Rourke.
It is Mickey Rourke. I think the beginning of this trailer is S, and I think
the
the end of this trailer is a
Well,
B.
that rapid fire of like, here's a little ScarJo, here's a little Samuel
Yeah.
L, here's a little Rhodey,
Yeah.
and finally in the suit. Like,
Yeah, I would give this the same grade I gave the first one.
Yeah. This feels like an A-tier trailer for me.
Yeah.
There's more iconic moments. The kiss the helmet and throw it out was
Yeah.
so iconic.
I'm
It also
seeing that movie. The Stark Expo
Yeah.
landing, I'm seeing it.
it also feels so much more modern than
totally.
even the Hulk movie that only came out 1 year before this, right? Like, this
Yeah.
feels like closer to our current level of trailerdom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you put this? So for me, I'll just say this goes in front of Iron Man.
Really?
It would be. And
Wow.
I'm happy to. It seems like you guys disagree with that.
I disagree. I liked it. I think that they had an easier job because they already had that roadmap.
Yeah, but they nailed it. They could have fumbled
They did
that.
nail it, that's
I
true.
will say that, like, the music hits
Yes.
were even a little bit better.
Yes, I do love the music.
And you're right, the last 20 seconds of that trailer is lit.
Yeah.
Is the best thing we've seen so far.
Yeah.
In all 3 trailers that we've
think so.
watched.
Wow.
I think so.
All right, I'll do
Yeah, I'd
her.
put it ahead. That's our new
Go for
leader
it.
in the clubhouse.
Chat agrees. They think A tier.
Yeah, A tier.
I think that's exactly right.
Yeah,
I think that's
okay.
exactly right.
All right. We
And
got Thor,
I
Thor.
think it's important to say that trailer's a better movie than Iron Man 2 that is a better trailer than Iron Man 2 is a movie. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, because it's
The pieces don't quite add up.
right.
as
It's
well
a close
as-
to S tier trailer, but not a close to S tier movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, yes.
Speaking of which-
Thor 2010. Open with the lightning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. They show it to it. They show it. See, this is where this trailer should have started.
Yes.
Now imagine.
You're so right, Gina. It
Now
should've
imagine
started
if it started there, and if they threw in like what am I supposed to do, and then it shows him on Earth being a doofus. Is the tagline for this 2 worlds, 1 hero? That's a bad tagline.
But this was pre 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
I mean,
It certainly wasn't.
I'm surprised it wasn't like this July, lightning will strike.
Very 2010. In 3D!
Of course.
Wow.
That's
Back when that was our
amazing.
go-to gimmick.
And 2D.
In 2D
You know
and select theater.
you know what? I'm gonna
They had to say it.
That's
You
awesome.
don't have to watch it in 3D if you don't want
You don't
to.
fuck with this.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I didn't care for that.
No, weak as hell.
I don't like that trailer.
I think that's also maybe the first one where the trailer, I think, is significantly worse than the movie.
Yes, agreed.
Because here's the thing, like, we get very little Hemsworth,
yeah.
and the Hemsworth we get is kind of serious yelling at my
Yeah.
father, which is not fun Hemsworth. It's
No.
not maybe his strong suit or
Yeah.
the strong suit of that character. They hadn't really fully realized the goofiness that Thor
Yeah.
can be in this point, but like, yeah, you don't even know watching that. Is it like, well, do we spend most of our time on Earth, or are we spending it,
That's the thing is like I think if they had opened with that sort of very Shakespearean moment, and then you see him exiled, and he's like, oh no, this is Earth, blah 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 blah. Then show us a little bit of the like another, like, and her being like, whoa, calm down.
And we get none of just. I mean, there's some action set pieces, but just like the badassery of like summoning lightning, and fucking twirling Mjolnir. Like,
Also, that does not show us who he's even fighting.
yes.
Yeah.
Like we get a quick shadow shot of like, oh, here are these like giant creatures, but like there's so much going on in that trailer that I could not tell you what that movie was about.
Well,
I would be
that-
like, oh,
that-
his dad exiles him to Earth, and then question mark?
That was a weakness of the first 2 Thor films. Of the villains
Never
were
had
a
a
little replaceable, but yeah, I. What do you think? Worse than Hulk?
I think honestly, oh god, that's so hard.
I think
it's
so.
I think it's a little bit worse than Hulk. You know
here's-
what?
here's-
It's hard because I had higher expectations of this than I had of Hulk.
But
I
we're
was
trying
expecting Hulk.
to kind of get away from that, right?
Then if I'm divorcing it from that, I would say it's probably slightly better than Hulk.
Here's my big problem with this trailer. None of the characters that are in this trailer are gripping. I don't care to go watch those characters do anything.
I would say the same about the Hulk trailer.
I think so. I think you're right. But at least the Hulk trailer had like a cool ass moment at the end of it, where
But
it
this
was
one
like
had a good
Abomination versus.
This one had a good
Hulk.
song. I'm giving it the edge.
Whoa! For me, I'm placing this behind Hulk.
Yeah, they're neck and neck.
Yeah, they're so close together.
Or
Let
ass
the
to
chat-
ass, if you will.
I mean,
Here's what I'll
honestly,
say about the chat.
Worst tagline. What was it? What was it?
Two worlds,
tagline.
one hero.
Here's what I'll say about the chat. The chat is going definitively C tier for this, but more so, and I'm just using this to prove my own point, baby. More so than the Incredible Hulk trailer, there's more people in the poll giving it an F than there were.
All right,
Yeah.
fine, fine.
Yeah.
Worse than
I
Hulk.
think-
Honestly,
you leave it C.
shocked. This is the first shocker I've had.
And we may not have any F tiers, right?
May not.
We don't have to.
We may not.
Or we might come back and revisit and have bump this guy down. Yeah.
Some people are asking, can we do D instead of F? The answer is, we gotta have an F.
Brian said it was impossible.
Yeah, unfortunately the math doesn't work.
The D is broken on his keyboard.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, next up,
I'm excited about this one.
Captain America, the First Avenger.
Okay.
Very
I
excited.
think, before we press play, we should start doing this. Do you think this trailer is going to be better than the movie or worse than the movie?
I think it's going to be on par with the movie, but I also love this movie. But I think it's going to have a banger of a song and a good tagline.
What, just like
Some
Pointer Sisters
Yeah.
or
Listen, if they have an old-fashioned song in there, but they cut it correctly, I'm into that too.
I think this is going to be better than the movie.
Wow, do you not?
I
like the movie?
don't love the movie.
Oh, I really like
I
the
don't love
movie.
the movie.
well,
So I
yeah,
think it's on par.
It's gonna be interesting. Like Anyway, I don't want to say. Let's
There's
see.
some really iconic shots from this movie that I think will make a great trailer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Do we get the shirtless coming out of the?
Oh yeah, you got to have him busting the doors down.
Oh, I mean, come on, we're already off to the races here.
Sorry, we just don't know when.
Oh, that's so good.
I could do this all day.
I'm already in.
That wasn't so bad. That was penicillin.
All
Interesting.
first act. Everything is first act.
But it's also the most compelling. Here
There
we
it is.
go.
Oh, the stuntman of like Laura Dern seeing a fucking raptor for the first time. Oh, this is gonna be great.
Whoa.
Yes. And they don't
Just a
give it
little
to you for
tease.
so long.
tease.
Yeah, that
Oh,
shot.
that's
Also,
a good
this shot
shot.
is
That's a
great.
good shot to end on.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a ridiculous moment from this movie. Openly
Could've
fire at
committed
someone
murder.
inside. Yeah, crazy. So
I
this
love
is
her.
the first Marcus and McFeely MCU movie. We had some great little lines of dialogue in there. Some,
couple
some
things-
good one-liners, some
I-
good kind of impactful.
I shouldn't be weighing this, but like, I like what they didn't show us. They obviously didn't show us him getting frozen and waking up
Yeah,
in
yeah,
New
no
York
New York
City
City
and modern
stuff
era.
at the end.
Also, they didn't show some of the goofier the USO tour.
I'm surprised we didn't get him punching
but
Hitler
I
or
don't think
anything
they
like
want
that.
you to think this is a goofy movie. I think they want you to think this is a
I think
serious, badass movie.
I think they set the perfect tone. They put in enough little jokes. The penicillin one, her shooting him, I think it works. It's like, oh, okay, it's not taking itself too seriously. It's not a Batman movie. It's not, or a Batman movie after the 2000s. It's not taking itself so seriously. But you're gonna get a lot of those classic action scenes. This might be my favorite
and
so
even
far.
not too heavy on the Red Skull, literally giving us
Yeah.
half a
And
frame
and
of the
they
Red
kind of cut
Yeah,
it out of
they
it
cut
a
it
little bit.
out.
Yes.
Smart,
so that
very
you would
smart.
be watching it and
I-
being like, wait, was that?
I think it also it had a nice pacing. It kept moving pretty good.
Also, I would argue that like Tommy Lee Jones, when this movie came out, most famous actor in this movie.
Yes, for sure.
And setting those first few scenes to his voiceover, very smart.
They did a great job basically saying like I think they marketed to a lot of different people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a audible call out to Tony Stark's dad. So
Yeah,
they're marketing to
yeah.
At the nerds.
the MCU fans they've already picked up. You're right. They showed every single big name actor that was going to be in this
Mm-hmm.
film. Very smart. And then, they played to the action.
What are you talking about? I didn't get any Toby Jones.
No Toby Jones,
Where's my
unfortunately.
Toby?
This might be my favorite so far.
Very good, very good. And they didn't show too much, but they still gave you a bunch of cool shit.
I would put this in an A, but above Iron Man 2.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Wow.
Interesting.
Again, maybe it suffered from there's not an iconic song drop.
No,
in this.
no big needle drop.
Yeah. And also, the tagline, I could take or leave. It's not that first Iron Man.
But we did get a couple audible taglines. We do get him with the trash can shield.
Yeah.
We get him saying, "I can do this all day." Those are big pops for.
Yeah.
Great reminder that
Yeah.
it's there from the beginning. The first trailer for
Yeah.
his first
Yeah.
appearance, they have that already
Yeah.
there. I do A or B, but I do it A maybe after the two Iron Man.
Wow.
This
John?
one's pretty solidly in the A tier for me. I see what you're saying with the B tier because nothing feels so iconic from the trailer. Like a bunch of iconic moments from the movie. I don't know how you separate those things. But nothing like Iron Man 2. I was like, oh, I remember that from the trailer.
I mean, there's nothing as good in this trailer. Maybe they kicking down the door with the Howling Commandos, guns a-blazing, a pretty great shot. But I'd still put it behind the camera swirling around Tony and Rhodey.
Yeah.
Gun shooting at the expo is so good.
It's a great moment. Now, here's what I'll say. Chat wants this as an S tier trailer, and I think that you guys are a little off.
Here's the thing. If I wasn't doing this with you guys, I would put it in S tier, but I knew I was not going to win.
Well, it's tough, right? When you're talking about an S tier trailer, that's got to be a trailer that you
all-timer.
You come back to, you remember, like it's you know,
it's not that.
And I don't think this trailer is
but do you really think it's the lowest of the A's?
I don't know about that, but I just don't think it's S tier.
I'm fine putting it in
I'd
A.
move it up. You can move it to the top of the A. I'm fine with that. I don't think it's S.
To the middle.
Let's put it in the middle to kind of.
There we go.
We
go.
We can always adjust at the end. We're almost halfway through here, so we can.
Yeah.
We're right there because coming up next is 2012's The Avengers.
Oh!
I've heard of
Put
it.
them all together. You know what's crazy about the Thor trailer? No Hawkeye, no Clint Barton in that trailer, which is interesting.
You had to pay your $12 to get your
They
Hawkeye.
they wanted that to be a surprise.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But they showed off a lot of Scarlett Johansson in Iron Man.
Yeah, but they had to leave something as a surprise. They couldn't.
I guess Clint Barton's not as much of a sex appeal draw as. All right, The Avengers. Needle drop is weak.
Yeah, that's a demerit.
Oh my gosh, that shot's not in the movie. So clear, even from the first Avengers movie, that Tony Stark is the fucking star of the MCU.
Well, and he'd been the most successful movies.
No tagline?
Here's a question that I have, right? In the time, I think this is an S tier trailer.
No.
Hold on. Let me
That's
just explain. When that trailer comes out, this is the first time you're seeing all of these people in a piece of media together before. Now, in 2025, we've seen them all together for many years now, and it's like a C or lower trailer.
Here's my problem with that trailer, and part of this is they obviously have the iconic shot on the New York City street.
Yeah,
they don't want to give that away for free, or maybe they did in a later trailer. But we get no equivalent. There's no single shot where we see the fucking Avengers in this. Also, is Hawkeye in this trailer?
He had one thing where he puts
he gets that.
I have to say, my problem with this trailer is the way it's cut. I did not like the way it was cut. I did not like the way it was edited.
Bad music.
Bad music. Also, just the shot and then black and then shot and then black. It felt disjointed. It felt like someone who was like, so what's the Avengers about? Whatever. I'll just put in a shot of each of them.
I like the format of crazy problem, key figure. We're putting together a team. Boom, bam, boom, solo shots. But it didn't get me hype putting together a team should.
It was not cohesive. I would argue the Defenders trailer was better than this trailer. This, it didn't feel cohesive. And also, I think what this suffers from is the fact that at this point, the only Avengers moviegoers had seen were Captain America and Iron Man.
And Thor.
And Thor.
And Black Widow. And Hawkeye.
No, but they hadn't had their own standalone. So whoever was cutting the trailer was probably all right, well, everyone likes Iron Man. I'll just put him in there as much as possible. But then the rest of it sort of suffers. I think what we wanted to see was their dynamic and some action shots.
And I think that's another thing that suffers here. You get a funny, you get a testy quip between Cap and Tony, and you get a funny quip between Hulk and Tony, but none of the group dynamic.
Right.
And it's not like they don't have scenes. There's the scene in the woods where it's Tony versus Thor, right? There's a few scenes that have a versus dynamic too. That's pretty fun that you can show.
And one thing that, with the exception maybe of some sequences in some of the X-Men films that had already been released at this point, one thing this movie did well that we had not seen in very many movies is teamwork superhero shit.
Yeah.
Your power coming together with my power to defeat this. And I get they don't want to give away the whole ball game in the first trailer, but give me a little bit.
Also, no tagline is insane in a movie. I'm sorry, no tagline is insane.
Well,
you can't think of a tagline.
They cock teased us with Avengers Assemble for 12 years or whatever.
For sure.
8 years. I guess it was 8 years, but still.
Here's the thing. This wouldn't make me not go see the movie, which is why I kind of want to put it in the B category.
Yeah.
I think that's high.
I think that's fair.
You think that's
you think
high?
B's high?
I don't know.
I think
well,
it's...
what another thing that this trailer actually does really well is there's a recast. And I think they do a good job endearing you to Mark Ruffalo's Bruce. They give
it had
you
only been-
a couple fun shots.
It had only been like 2.5 years since Ed Norton was that character.
And you put him with the MCU's biggest character at the time, Tony Stark, and you give them this little moment together. I think that was very clever of them to be like, hey, this is kind of the vibe that you guys are anticipating. You're gonna like the new Bruce, we promise, and we're putting him with Tony. You're gonna like it.
I just think like the trailer makes it seem too generic.
Right.
It doesn't
right.
capture
It's
the
not memorable at
specialness
all.
of this movie,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I put it high C, I guess. I don't know.
Delicious.
Joyce Ladd saying in the UK, I didn't realize this, the movie was actually called Avengers Assemble.
Yeah, well, they had to because Avengers was the television
Right, and that's everything.
show.
I was actually going to make a joke about Brian pranking us with just showing the 1960s Avengers TV show trailer.
So
hilarious.
Chat thinks this is a B.
Okay.
Where are we? Where are you?
I think
at?
this is our first B.
I said B.
Okay, let's put
but
this.
John thinks that that's.
I think it could go lower, but let's
Okay.
put it in B and maybe some. films will
And
come
it might get lower, like one good song, one more really good shot, and I think it could bump up a lot. The bones are there, it just doesn't deliver.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know what trailer 1 is for Age of Ultron, but the trailer that I'm thinking of that starts
the
in the
I Got No
party and
Strings.
it's the Pinocchio.
Ooh, that's a good trailer.
That trailer is so good
Yes,
in
that's a
comparison to
trailer.
this one, whereas that movie is not as strong.
Well,
in
and
comparison
this
to
movie doesn't even get me that scared of Loki.
Right? No.
Yeah, again, they did a bad job of
Do
being
we
like,
see
hey, this is
Chitauri?
the villain
No,
of this
we
movie.
see no Chitauri.
Don't really see Chitauri. We see some cars kind of being flipped
Again,
in New York.
maybe
and all
it's
just
that, but-
poorly
Maybe they were
poorly
trying to
edited.
keep their powder dry. They didn't want
the
to give away
visual
too
effects
much,
shots
Yeah.
or they hadn't
I
finished the
don't know.
CGI. Yeah.
I don't know. Before we move on to phase 2, we want to thank some folks that help us make this show. First among them, Miracle Made, whose sheets are keeping us sleeping at the perfect temperature all night, every night. I've actually been rocking Miracle sheets for a few years now. And it's a lovely upgrade. I can't recommend them highly enough. They're very, very comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. Miracle Made's fabric was inspired by NASA, so it's thermoregulating, keeping your bed at the right temperature all year long. I live in an older house that doesn't have very good heat insulation, and so Miracle Made sheets keeps me nice and warm when it's cold out, and it keeps me nice and cool like right now when it is a scorcher in LA, especially late into the evening. Plus, Miracle Made sheets are infused with silver that prevents bacterial growth. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne, so sleeping on Miracle Made sheets is good for your skin too. I'm acne free. Thank you, Miracle Made. Upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/breakroom to try Miracle Made sheets today. Whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code BREAKROOM at checkout, you'll receive a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So even if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/breakroom and use code BREAKROOM to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/breakroom to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring today's video. We also want to thank Ridge for sponsoring today's episode of The Break Room. And I'm so glad they are, because since switching to a Ridge wallet, I can't believe there was a time when I didn't have one. My old wallet was a real George Costanza, a big old wad of leather with, a bunch of crappy, weird foldouts for a photo that I'm never gonna put. Why are we doing this? My back was always hurting, and I was figuring it was time to try something new. And that something new was a Ridge wallet. Ridge wallets have a unique, slim design that holds up to 12 cards plus cash. They're made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, carbon fiber, and even have over 50 colors and styles to choose from, so you can get one that's just right for you. Ridge wallets also have an AirTag attachment that make it so that you'll never misplace your wallet again, which is huge for you sickos that are leaving your wallet all over the place. Insane. Ridge also makes premium everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. All Ridge products have free shipping and a 99-day risk-free trial and a lifetime warranty. With over 100,000 5-star reviews, it's obvious that people love Ridge. Right now, Ridge is offering a huge Memorial Day sale where you can get up to 40% off at ridge.com/breakroom. Just head to ridge.com/breakroom to see their biggest sale of the year. And after you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Let us know it was the Breakroom. That really helps us out. And it helps you out, and you get a sick new wallet. We're back on the other side of things. Phase 2, sort of a mixed bag of movies. Phase 1, I think, the weaker ones are you could argue The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, but most of them,
But we have some good
set up
debuts.
some really good debuts.
Yeah,
we have some good
Absolutely.
debuts.
And it's hard
Yeah.
with so many origin stories. This one is a little lighter
Yeah.
on the origin stories. There's a couple of them in there, but by and large, they're sequel films. We're going to go through Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and then sneaking into Phase 2, Ant-Man.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a good
it's a strong.
lineup.
The
That's
phase
a
ends strong.
Yeah.
Phase ends strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take a look. 2013, Iron Man 3.
Okay.
I mean, this feels like the tone of Endgame, right? Like everything
Yeah.
bad happened now.
Oh,
This is awesome.
Cool.
Do we?
This might be better than the movie.
The Mandarin's monologue is pretty good.
I mean, they make it look like he dies 3 times in this movie.
And Pepper. Ooh.
No tagline, no song.
This is good.
I mean, this is a flex right here because they're like, well, I mean, that's why this is a flex. This is Marvel being like, okay, we're at the top of the game.
Yeah.
Whatever we
Yeah.
put out is making bank.
And this is like, we know everyone saw the Avengers. We fucking know everyone who
They're
watched this
leading
trailer
with
saw
New
the
York.
Avengers.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
also like, it's not a somber movie. Again,
No.
it's Shane Black. It's
No,
filled
no.
with just as many
No.
quips and bits
But
as
I
anything
want to
else.
see those quips. I
Well,
want to
but
see a couple
I think
of quips.
they're assuming you know that, and instead they want to be like, "Hey, we're deep into our run now. You've already seen 3 of these movies in what 6 years? Not even in that
It's
long,
good.
right?"
It's-
So they're like, "This is important. This is not just another in a million run. This is heavy. This is real. You need to see this." And I think they got that across. I mean, some badass set pieces. They also give us so little of the plot. We get no Project Extremis. We don't see a
Yeah.
single guy
No,
flame
we
up.
get Guy,
Yeah.
we get Guy Pearce.
Very
but-
little Guy
yeah,
Pearce.
but you don't know what he's
Yeah.
doing. You don't know if he's a good guy
which
or a
is
bad guy.
smart. I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on your preferences. Like, this is almost Nolan-ish. In
Big,
how
Yeah.
big
serious
ol'
it is.
big ol'
Yeah.
explosions. You know what the action's gonna look great.
Our hero in lots of
Everything
trouble.
everything is, that tone is very Nolan. Yeah. I mean, and maybe this is a little bit of a reaction to like how serious DC was at the time. And they were sort of saying like, we can do that too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not what I want from my Iron Man movies. I guess it's the trailer is fine. It's fine. It's not great.
It's not fun. It's fine. It's not fun.
It's fine. It's not fun. Yeah.
Well,
Again,
and
no music, no tagline.
I was gonna say, I don't know if this is required, but no music, no tagline.
Yeah.
I mean, no like needle drop.
Yeah. I mean, it did have that. It did have a like a visual needle drop of like, Pepper's about to be killed by a rogue.
yeah.
Like, suit.
If that trailer were to come out today, though, and you know, it's a little hard because obviously we've had Iron Man in the MCU and things are different, but like, I would be excited for that movie. I think.
It's so serious. It makes it, like I said, it makes it look like he dies 3 different times.
Yeah,
in that
isn't that
movie.
awesome?
But
Hell
it's not giving me that Robert Downey Jr. They just used him so much in the Avengers trailer, and they barely.
It
use
is.
him
I mean,
in this
Gina
trailer.
makes a good point of like, according to this trailer, we're going to see sad RDJ for 2
Yeah,
hours
well,
and 15
and I mean, that
I
was sort
love
of what
that.
the like story group of Marvel at the time was kind of doing, right? Like he's traumatized by this whole like nuke thing that he has to do. He's got this movie, it's a downer,
Yeah.
into Age of Ultron. He's got these visions of the future that are really fucking
but that's
with him.
fine. Like that's fine. I just don't want a 2.5-hour movie of him
Sure.
being depressing.
And
I
we know
he
Iron
already
Man
had
3
Batman.
was not that, but this trailer does make it
That's
seem
what I'm
like
saying.
it
This
was.
trailer is not. At first, I was like, "Oh, is this better than the movie?" But then I was like, maybe I just don't like the movie that much.
Well, it is, I mean, you could argue the worst of the Iron Man movies pretty easily.
It's just not.
But the
movie
Mandarin
to me is not memorable.
The Mandarin works more in the trailer than he does
Well, yeah,
as the
'cause they
fake
don't-
out
they don't
crappy
give
version
a
in the movie.
Yeah, but I remember this got a lot of crap because people were like,
A white Mandarin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it was
did you guys
totally.
hire a white guy to play the Mandarin? I don't know. It's not moving my needle one way or the other, which I think is a sign of a bad trailer. Like
I think this feels like this could be B beneath the Avengers.
Wow.
that's where I would put it.
I think I'm a little higher, and I think
What's
the chat has
saying?
said A tier, but I wouldn't
Wow.
argue. Two folks
I mean, you could
on
put
the
it
panel
above
like
Avengers
like
if
be
you
behind.
want.
Yeah,
I
you
just
put it
don't
above,
think it's better
sure.
than a B.
I'll give you that.
It's I don't want to see at this point in the MCU. I don't want to see a 2.5 hour bummer. I like and plus like I the way they did Endgame is like so much better, but this is just like, yeah, this character you love is probably gonna die, or the lady's gonna die. Like we're hinting at that a lot. Like, and it's just like, what is it about?
Got to buy your ticket to find out if they die.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, is that Age of Ultron is next?
No.
Dark
For
World.
the Dark World.
Dark World.
Oh
Great.
boy. Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. I bet this trailer might be a banger, actually. Bwong. Okay, they're going through a vibe.
Yeah, I'm not connecting with this.
I just think Marvel was going through a vibe with their trailers. Man, Marvel was going through a vibe where they wanted.
He's a friend from work. Oh, wait, it's a different giant guy.
Made of rocks. Okay, at least they kind of end on a lighthearted thing.
Yeah, if only that were the whole movie and the whole
I
trailer.
know. I don't know. It's just these last two. Just like I'm just not.
And it's
connected to
just
these vibes.
it's bad aughts, Snyderverse, grayscale.
Yes.
Everything's heavy. Everything's a city getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Nobody's having fun. The CGI.
I mean, compare this to like that first Iron Man where he's like, it's like
kick ass the whole time.
and he's like, yeah, I'm blowing shit up. I'm having a good time. This really, to me, does feel like an overcorrection when other superhero movies started to do well, and they were like, hey, guys who edit our trailers, can you make them look a little bleak? And it's like, that's not what this should be.
This trailer screams, "Watch me on a plane." You know what I mean?
You know what?
This-
The movie ended up being that.
This trailer is Delta in-flight entertainment
I
par
gotta-
excellence.
I gotta tell you, I watched that movie 3 or 4 times because probably there was the original and then the 3 watches, so probably 4 times. If you ask me specific details of it, I would be like, either.
Well, and I mean, this
It's like
is
not a really memorable
this
movie
is
to me.
peak. I mean, Malekith is often referenced as one of the worst Marvel villains of all time.
Also
you don't
cool.
care.
They don't really show him off. You don't get
That's
any
the
Chris.
thing. That's a cool
Christopher
design.
Eccleston.
Yeah.
That's a cool design, and you have
Yeah.
a major actor who connects with like a lot of people, and they're not. The fact that they're not showing him off is like they're like, man, maybe I don't know.
This
I don't know
is
what
that the
people
kindest
think of
thing ever said about Christopher Eccleston?
Hey,
you have
come
a
on,
major
man.
actor
Hey, he's
that
major to
connects
me.
with a lot of people.
Yo, he was the first Doctor of the new era. Plus he was
That's right.
on.
That's
Plus
right.
he was.
Gina,
In,
There's-
Doctor Who
plus
had-
he's in Heroes. Any
There's-
Heroes fans love him.
There's 30s and
Leftovers?
40s of people that really vibe off of that. I would argue Leftovers season 1 is a bigger credit
All of
than both
these.
the things you just
Okay,
cited.
first
Great
of all,
in the
Leftovers
Leftovers.
season 1
And
is
none of them
great.
are big.
It's not a bigger credit than being one of the only
Also,
people to play the Doctor.
Is he in one of the 28 days later?
I haven't seen 28.
No, you're
months.
just thinking of random other British people.
Oh, well, they
28
get
days
everybody in there. Anyways,
But, I mean, it's crazy for me to say that I liked that Iron Man 3 trailer and I would give it a B. And for me, this trailer is a fucking F. You know?
I think this is the
I
closest
watched
to an
that
F.
trailer and I'm like, I have
There's
no
just
interest in watching that
nothing-
film.
Wait, are you guys being colored by the fact that you don't
No,
really
because
like
I don't
the movie?
particularly love Iron Man 3 either.
I would have given this a low B. I thought
No,
What?
this is C or F. I feel like only in that, like, the first Thor trailer, not great. I feel like this one is demonstrably worse.
that's true, and
Uh-huh.
I did forget that we gave. Yeah, I mean,
Only in that this trailer gives
what's
you
the
nothing
what's
new.
the chat saying?
There's nothing
Chat?
new, and in fact, it's like there's a little less. Like, what's that
I
about?
mean, there's a
you
couple
know?
of cool shots in there. It's just everything. It's so bleak.
The chat is giving this, putting this in C, and I will say, like I said before, they're rating this like fewer Fs than the original Thor trailer got.
Yeah, I mean,
So they would put it maybe
I mean,
between Hulk and Thor.
That's fine, and I won't be mad if we don't have any Fs, but it feels like a C.
I mean,
fine. I'll do
definitively.
low C. Low C.
Yeah, you want to put it at the end of the C.
I
That's
just
a
think
good
it was
spot
more
for
of a nothing burger than like a bad burger.
Here, I will say the one credit for it.
Man, what would you rather have, too? Would you rather have no burger, or would you rather have a
Bad
burger that's
burger.
pretty bad?
Bad Burger is one of my favorite Puerto Rican pop stars. I love in the trailer for Caught Stealing, the new Darren Aronofsky movie, in which Bad Bunny is an actor. He's listed in the credits, not as Bad Bunny, but by his given name. But it's like when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson transitioned to just
Dwayne Johnson?
Dwayne
Oh,
Johnson.
yeah, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah.
Drop the rock, it's clean.
I will say the one thing I liked about that trailer is we get a lot of Thor and Loki working together. And I feel like that is the best part of that movie. And it's something that like we as fans kind of like and enjoy. They do have a great chemistry together, much better than than Thor and Jane.
That's true.
So like pitting it as a buddy movie is actually kind of strong.
But it did make everything about that trailer made it seem like a bloated mess. There's too many characters. There's too many like again. I'm like, who's the villain? It's this guy in like a ghost mask. Like, what's going on? It's just so bloated, and including all of the original 3 in there, and like I'm just like, there's too much, too sad, too much.
Too sad. Well,
Speaking of which-
here comes another bleak movie, Captain America. Jesus Christ,
Winter
Winter
Soldier.
the Winter Soldier.
we're in our gray era
I know.
of MCU.
I got some hopes for this trailer though. Oh,
There's already it's feeling like
strong.
Iron Man.
Already starting strong.
Well, all the guys in my barbershop quartet are dead. So
See, this is what I want. Oh, and then the
Now it's
turkey
sad.
checks. No, but that's all I need.
Do we get this? Wants to get out.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
great.
I mean, great line.
That's great.
Great line for the trailer.
Yeah,
So good.
it's great. It's good. Cool
Really
shot.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we get the bicep shot?
Ooh, come on. The helicarrier crashing. That's a great shot.
Pretty good.
Also, the shield all scratched up. Yes.
I forgot about
okay.
that. Really good.
See now
This
here's
is
what I'm
really
talking
good.
about.
This
Here's
is the
what I'm
trailer
talking about.
Thor: The Dark World wishes.
That's what I'm saying. Here's the
This
thing.
is how you
They
do a serious trailer.
That's what I'm saying. They started with a little bit of brevity, and then they were like, "But by the way, some dark shit happens in this." That's how you do a dark
and
trailer.
again, it's leaning into like what we like about this particular branch of the franchise. Some nice looking practical stunts.
Yeah.
That the elevator fight, some of the Bucky stuff.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks real. We're not relying on giant fake spaceships, even though there are giant fake spaceships in this.
I mean, seeing some key set pieces. Like the problem with that Iron Man 3 thing was like, no, they blew up his mansion. Do we care about that? But seeing a helicarrier crash
giving us a Black Widow doing something badass, giving us a Falcon doing something
Yeah.
badass.
That's a great shot.
Also, again, the construction of this trailer, they start with like, okay, a little bit of light banter before he's doing something serious, and then they go to the most famous actor in the movie, Robert Redford. Like, this is how you construct a trailer. And also, if you notice, they perfectly spaced out the big, like, action-y sequences. Like, they were like, okay, here's the thing. No, he doesn't have a parachute. Does anybody want to get off? Kicking their asses. Bucky catching the shield. They're like, you want this? You want this? You want this? That is a well-constructed trailer.
Because if you're going to buy a ticket to a Captain America movie, you want to see Captain America being badass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, right? Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff, great. These other characters, other plot machinations. But ultimately, I want to see our guy taking names. You know what I mean? And that's what this trailer gives us. This is...
And they
real good
save a bunch of great shit, right?
Much.
There's no Toby Jones in this trailer either.
Yeah.
there-
Also the main reveal.
Yeah,
this is when Hydra gets revealed. Obviously, like if you saw that trailer, I would have been like, shit, I gotta go see that movie. And then if I saw that movie, I'd be like, whoa, this is all a
and
Hydra
again,
reveal?
a 2012 or whenever this came out version of New Rockstars might have been like, you can tell that the Winter Soldier is Bucky, but like somebody cold watching this just seems
Who's
like a
this villain?
random baddie, right? And you won't make that direct connection to the guy from the last movie. They keep a lot in the pocket. This movie's, that's a great trailer.
Also ending with like you're like, yeah, Captain America's flinging his shield. Oh my God, that guy caught the shield.
Because you've seen a million guys get fucking flung across the room.
And you still want to see it, and
Yeah.
you're like, hell yeah, mess that guy up. Holy crap, that guy caught the shield without even batting an eyelash. That is a badass trailer.
This might be my top trailer.
This might also be my
Might be
top
at the top
trailer.
of A, and maybe it's threatening that S.
Yeah, I mean, Here's the thing. You boys know what I like. No tagline, no famous song in this.
No tagline, no famous song.
But I agree. I think it might be S or S or
could it
top-
be-
or S or
Gina,
top
for
of
you,
A.
is this the best trailer we've seen today?
Right
now,
that first Iron
we
Man,
have Iron Man
That
at the
first
top.
Iron Man trailer, and we don't even have the first Iron Man
Excuse
trailer.
me, Iron Man 2. And Iron Man 2, man, that trailer slaps. This is really
Yeah,
good.
this is tough.
Would it be bumped up a tier for you if it had some like Lee Greenwood, God bless the USA blasting? You know what I mean? Just a little,
specifically, but maybe-
really tweak those patriotic nips a little bit. You know what I mean?
I really like a good tagline reveal. I think that there's an art to writing a strong tagline, and I've been missing it these last couple movies. But I do agree, it's kind of the top of A right now for me.
Top of A. It doesn't punch into S tier.
Maybe
I
we
think that's
revisit,
right.
but I agree.
I think top of A. Now, I will say, chat overwhelmingly puts this in the S tier.
I would say it's like it's if anything we've watched so far deserves to be an S, it's this, and I will not be mad if we put it into S.
Well, we
But
only got a couple movies left.
again,
We can come back.
I think it's not as iconic as some trailers
Yeah.
that we're literally about to watch, I think.
I also think we're like hedging a little bit because we're like, well, what if something better comes along?
Agreed.
And then so I do think we'll want to revisit a couple of these.
Let's put this at the top of A. I think that feels right.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Because I'm not, to tell you the truth, this is not an S tier trailer for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But what may be an S tier trailer, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Let's-
Ooh,
Volume
I have real
Let's
high
see
hopes
a
for
real I'm putting together a team. kind of moment.
high hopes for
Okay.
this one. High hopes.
Star-Lord. Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
AKA the Destroyer.
Oh, this is a
Since his
clever
wife and
way to
family
do
were
this.
killed, he's been on a rampage. He's wanted largely on charges of
blurred
violent
it
assault,
out.
They
public
blurred it out.
intoxication,
It's for the trailer, but they don't do it in the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
Oh, come on. Yes.
I love the switch from diegetic to non-diegetic music.
And then they mix it in with like
Yes.
trailer hits.
Now this is a well.
That was right. And we got the first like himbo shot of Chris Pratt.
I wish we could know. I wish we knew who cut the trailers, who the
Yeah.
editor is, because I wouldn't be
They
surprised
call
if this was
themselves
James
the
Gunn.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
A bunch of a-holes.
S tier.
Whoa.
I think-
God damn.
I'm breaking shit.
What'd you do, John?
Our one-shot energies fell.
Oh, okay.
And I heated Gina's phone across the room.
Damn.
Sorry, Gina.
Here's what I'll
all
say.
good.
I mean, now having watched damn near a dozen trailers, that feels different from all of them.
That's the best fucking trailer.
I agree. I mean, also like that again. That's like everything that I want from a trailer. You know that like, oh, this is a weird badass team who's probably going to be doing something badass, but we don't even really see much of the action, and that's okay.
Truly, none of the Guardians other than Star-Lord get a line of dialogue.
Yeah. But
Right.
you get that great montage of
Yeah.
like people doing cool shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's true.
Because
That's
think of
true.
like this trailer also is a bigger ask than all of the other ones. Because like if you're a moviegoer in
Yeah.
2008, 2009, 2010, you may not be super familiar with Iron Man, but everybody has heard that name. Same with Thor, same with Captain America and Avengers. There's a very good chance the vast majority of people do not know any of these characters.
Well, that's why starting with the Who is so
Really
brilliant.
good. The rap sheet is perfect.
because literally the audience watching it is gonna go, who?
Yeah.
Well, in like
Oh, yeah,
doing that
yeah.
in a way in which like this feels like, oh, it's a little bit Magnificent Seven, Seven Samurai, it's a little Usual Suspects,
Yeah.
whatever is going on, but also giving us, and those are like serious movies, but also giving us a sense of the humor and the lightheartedness, goofiness.
You see a
that this
couple of
franchise
comedians
has.
like having John C. Reilly deliver sort of, and also that was a lot of exposition, but I wasn't bored. Like,
Well, and there's no plot in the
Yeah.
trailer either, right? Like we have no idea what they're
yeah,
doing
that's
or what
true.
they're
We
about.
just get character exposition.
Yes.
Yeah, I would put this in S tier because I just think like he knew the assignment. I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn cut that first trailer himself.
Possibly. Yeah.
Because the switch from the diegetic music to non-diegetic is such a him move that like you hear it on here and then it mixes into the trailer. And he's also like a little bit of a control freak, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, guys, I got this.
Well,
and it's got such a different tone from every other one.
We've been talking about music stabs, and like again, the 3-4 trailers before this had moved away from pop music.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
only is
we
this-
haven't seen a tagline since the first Avenger,
know.
maybe. So
Yes.
I think
Such a
just
bummer.
that's
so
not in
like,
style.
Yeah.
like to not only come back to a pop song, but like a goofy 70s pop song is such a choice.
I would also argue, and this is another James Gunn thing, that instead of seeing the tagline on the thing, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. What a bunch of a-holes,
100%.
and it's a verbal tagline. Like
Yeah.
I would argue, because I think James Gunn knows what he's doing with these things, and he's like, "Yep, here's your trailer music. Here's your spoken tagline. This had everything I want."
Someone in the chat is asking, what is diegetic sound mean? And that is like sound that is taking place in the universe.
It's playing on a radio.
Versus
Sorry,
like,
that's
There's
my
a band playing it or whatever.
Yeah, it's my douchebag like film term. But yeah, anytime you hear something within the world that they're like, if it's played on the character's headphones, that's considered diegetic because it's within the universe. But if it's not
as opposed
non-diegetic,
to, like,
means
it
the
is a
score,
soundtrack, right?
the soundtrack.
Yeah, and there are some kind of famous examples of like films that only use diegetic music, or like I believe
Yes.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, the Dogma '95 style pioneered by Lars von Trier and other European filmmakers. They're only allowed diegetic
there
music.
is-
I believe.
But it also is very James Gunny. Anytime, like specifically, that's why he uses those tapes and things. Like it's like music playing over loudspeaker. That's like,
Right.
But in this one, it goes from like that sort of low quality tinny sound where you're hearing it through a character's headphones, and then bam, it becomes non-diegetic, and it's the soundtrack, and it's a
full and
brilliant.
big.
And if you see this in a
Yeah.
movie theater, that hits, right?
Yeah, it hits. It's a brilliant bit of trailer cutting, and I dig it. To me, this was the most successful so far.
I mean, do we have to ask? I think
think
for all of
it's
us, that
S.
feels
Okay,
like an
I'll give it S.
Really?
I might be leaning more A, but
wow.
I could be swayed. I could be swayed to S only for its singularity, its
Well, how-
boldness,
yeah.
and everything
Yeah,
like that.
it's very
I just
unique.
think that
How's the
this
chat?
trailer chat says S tier. I feel like this trailer out of all of them so far, and maybe this is just me, but like I remember that Star-Lord Who moment from this
Yeah.
trailer. I remember the what a bunch of a-holes moment from this trailer. I remember the himbo
Also,
Chris Pratt
it's-
stuff from this trailer.
Yeah.
Like it feels like, and maybe it's more because it's the more recent.
Well,
I remember all of these beats. from
That's. I was also gonna say like this is maybe the first trailer that feels like it could come out in 2025.
Oh,
Agreed.
yeah,
Agreed.
yeah,
It holds up. It
interesting.
holds up the best. The other ones do. Yeah, the other ones feel like you're gonna watch an action
Yeah.
movie, and this one it's like you're gonna watch an action movie. That's not all we want to show you in the trailer.
Totally.
I dig it.
Our first S tier.
A little Age of Ultron on deck. Is that what's next?
I
okay.
believe you're right. Age of Ultron.
I'm gonna
2015.
say I remember really liking this.
And I don't know which this version we're gonna get, but I agree with you, Gina. Let's take a look.
Also, James Spader voice.
I'm gonna show you something.
Okay, so not in the trailer I was expecting. I mean, another kind of like all hope is lost trailer.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if they do it successfully though.
Oh, the Hulkbuster forgot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No strings on me.
Having him finish the line, also great.
This trailer had a lot of hype.
You know,
when it came out.
it's not as good as I remember. I don't know if it was the other. I'm learning that I have like an issue with just these disjointed hero shots that mean nothing and haven't successfully set up where I am in the world. Like, you know, Natasha dropping down on a motorcycle is cool, but then like I don't know, it looks like it's from like every different point in the movie, so there's no cohesive narrative. Here's my
Some of the best
thing.
trailers have
trailer
had a real
needs
good
a cohesive
yeah.
narrative,
Yeah.
and these last few Marvel ones not doing
Well,
it.
and I don't know how important that is, but I will say the thing this does really well is I think this is the best framing of a new villain.
Yes, I agree.
sure,
I
yeah,
agree.
It does seem scary. They're kind of justifying why he's the subtitle.
Yeah.
Right? Like they need to build him up. He ggets all the dialogue almost. Tony
Yeah.
gets a couple lines, but that's about it. And it's obviously a very Ultron forward. That's kind of cool. But it feels, this is faint praise, it feels better than Avengers 1 trailer wise.
Yeah.
Just
okay,
again, the music,
I agree.
the kind of the pacing, some of the shots, but it feels kind of ancient. Maybe it's just like jarring to see that old Cap costume and like, some of that stuff. God, doesn't Elizabeth Olsen look so young?
I will say
She's a
it was
little baby.
especially jarring to watch a trailer like Guardians, which like had such a clear directive. And then this, which it looked like 3 different editors worked on it. And they were like, let's put in that cool. Because there were cool shots, but not cohesively put together. But I will say, I'm a sucker for a kid's song sung in a creepy kid's voice. I remember the first time I saw that, and again, I don't know if this was the trailer, but I remember like the little kids singing the Pinocchio song, and I was like, I am disturbed.
And in this era, that became a popular trope, or just like slowing down a pop song and making it sound creepy.
Like I think the Social Network did Creep with a big choir, right? Yeah. Now it's interesting, right? There's like a couple of funny things about this trailer. One, I thought that there was a version of this trailer, maybe it's just a different trailer, that started with the like party at the Avengers Tower where they're trying to lift Mjolnir, right? That's a great scene, and then it gets interrupted by Ultron. I thought that was the trailer that we were going to get here, and maybe I'm mismashing 2 things together, or maybe there's another trailer that does that more successfully. But I thought that there was a trailer that had that and the creepy Pinocchio song. Maybe not. Then, the other major criticism that this trailer gets is that, like, it's tonally very dark, and the movie is not as serious and doesn't take itself as seriously.
Really?
Tell that to a Sokovian.
Yeah. It didn't end with, like, a genocide?
That's not my criticism. That's the general criticism of the marketing for this movie and then the actual execution of the movie. That's not how we're ranking this. We're just going purely off of the trailer.
I agree with Zach that it's better than the Avengers. I would put this in a solid B range.
I think it's better than some of the other kind of sad boy versions.
It's definitely above Thor 2. It's definitely above some of the weaker parts, but it's not a great trailer. I think, what this trailer accomplishes? Oh, okay. Avengers movie out in May. Okay, I'll go see that. Nobody's watching this that didn't want to see an Avengers movie and is like, never mind, I'm in.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I will say that, like, James Spader is such a good, like, his voice is so tonally rich, and to see it emanating from a robot, like, that's like, it's clever, but it seems all over the place. It seems like someone did a cut of this, handed it off to another editor who did a second cut, handed it off to a third editor who did a third cut.
Also interesting, no vision in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I don't know that, again, that doesn't put any more asses in seats.
Yeah.
People see a purple guy, but interesting that they hold that back.
Yeah. Not one of the best, not one of the worst.
Now I'll say this: the chat's all over the place for me. There's a bunch of people. Number 1, A tier.
Wow.
Number 2, S tier. That's 2 votes behind. And then a few votes behind that was B tier. So the chat, I think, would land it in A. I don't know if we
put it maybe
at that.
I'm not
we put that right there at the top of
B.
B.
Okay.
Just to give the chat a little bit of
fine.
a voice here, but I think all of us are kind of like, it's not an A tier trailer for us. I don't think.
I wish it was just more.
It also, and again, this is just a comment on the era. The trailer is giving a little like Black Hawk Down energy. Nothing wrong with that. I enjoy the Black Hawk Down movie, but like
it's just movie.
Very that kind of energy, right? Yeah.
A couple of these have surprised me so far. I thought I was gonna love the Avengers trailer.
Yeah. Hey, and again, we're watching trailer 1, so it's very possible that like Guardians of the Galaxy. Trailer 1 was that trailer, and maybe for this movie the teaser was stronger or whatever.
It's become like the Marvel plan is like they do switch up the tones, trailer to trailer, right? Like they'll often come out with like serious epic energy in the first trailer. Maybe the second energy leans more into comedy or relationships or whatever, right? Like they often, I mean, again, we were talking about Wakanda Forever. That first trailer is just trying to tear jerk. And later trailers focus a little bit more on Namor and some of the action or whatever.
Arguably that first trailer has to be a banger because people will have already formed their opinion by the time the second trailer comes out. Is my argument. You want to put your best foot forward.
I wasn't sold on Jurassic World Rebirth till I saw Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 100 feet tall, walking through the jungles. Okay, that's a deep cut, but go Google it. It's playing during the NBA
really deep
playoffs. Remember They CGI in this Oklahoma City Thunder player, but they make him as tall as a T-Rex.
And it looks decent.
And he's just dribbling through the jungle. It is
It looks kinda good.
insane. It's some of the worst cross promo or best cross promo.
No, you're right. The visual effects look good. The trailer is like, what? Yeah,
like
it doesn't make any sense.
my cannon is ruined.
My cannon. They found a mosquito that had the blood of
a 200-foot tall basketball player.
all right. The last movie of Phase 2, Edgar Wright's. No, just kidding. Sorry. Peyton Reed's Ant-Man.
Can we say that I think through all of this, I have discovered that I think more successful trailers focus on one longish scene and then mix in some other stuff.
And then they're like, here's the fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because like,
here's
because
the
if
scene
you
that's
look
the
at
movie.
The ones that we liked, it's all like that first Iron Man. That was a long opening of him being like, here are my weapons. I'm driving through the desert. That's all from basically like one sort of scene.
And it gives you a more accurate idea of the tone of the film.
Yeah, like I think like pick one of the more compelling or one of the best scenes of the movie, show that, and then mix it in. But these other ones that feel disjointed, it's like, dude, 10 seconds from here, 5 seconds from there, 2 seconds from this, and they're all over the place. And I think that's the way to cut a trailer, is more successful.
Well, it's interesting you bring
do
that
one
up
longer
because back in this era of Marvel, depending on when these movies were released, far apart from each other or whatever, sometimes the first piece of marketing for the movie was a scene that was the post-credit scene from the previous film.
Yeah,
that's the first kind of thing that you saw coming up for the next movie.
Yeah.
We're not looking at those. Maybe we'll rank post-credit scenes in the future. That would be fun.
I want to do the DVD one shots that they used to do.
The DVD one shots is something we also talked about.
I don't know if everyone's watched them. I work them into my rewatch. They're great. They're great.
Some agents.
A lot of Coulson in there. A lot of Coulson in those.
Yeah. All right, last one of today, Ant-Man.
A soldier.
They love a feet walking into
This is what I'm
lines.
talking about. A longer scene.
My days of breaking into places and stealing stuff are over. What do you want me to do?
I want you to break into a place.
Makes sense.
Heroes don't get bigger.
I thought there was more to that sentence.
I was expecting more.
I mean, that's great. Okay.
I think that's fun.
I agree it's fun.
Again, kind of typical for Marvel, but like striking that tone between badass set pieces and some quips and
Was that maybe a directive of like, let's every single moment from this movie that like is a cool one-liner that gets undercut by a joke, we got to put that in the trailer? That feels like their go-to bread and butter jokes for a trailer. It's like
I think
badass moment that gets undercut by a joke.
I think when you have someone like Paul Rudd starring in it, everyone knows his thing. Everyone knows it's self-deprecating charm is what he does best. So you want that in there. It's the same as like showing Star-Lord and being like, we know what Chris Pratt does. And you want to see it. Like, I don't want to see Paul Rudd go in there and be like, you killed my family. Like, I'll be like, Paul Rudd, what? Make me laugh, monkey.
Damn, monkey. I think it does a pretty good job. Again, is this like converting somebody who's never seen a Marvel movie? No, but I think that's not who they're trying to work. They're trying to be like, do you like Captain America and Thor and Iron Man?
Yeah.
You will also dig this.
Brian just put this into the chat, and I think he's 100% right. The clip of Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas just kind of like slapping their thighs, going like, ants, Ant-Man, is like a better piece of marketing than this trailer.
Ants. Ant-Man.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's a successful trailer. I think it's par for the course. Like I think the fact that all of us sat here in silence and we're like, oh, that was good.
Well, I think it's functional for a functional entry in the Marvel franchise, right? Like
those Ant-Man movies are all kind of that, like
perfectly
it's
acceptable.
like,
I actually bet.
hey, these are vegetables. They're nice. That we roasted them and we put some olive oil on them and some herbs and shit, but they're still vegetables.
I'm pulling it on my ass, but I wonder if the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer actually might be much better. I mean, we get Giant Man in that.
Yeah.
And so there's probably some there's some better
some-
visuals. That movie also got a lot sillier
don't
and
think-
had a lot more fun with the
Yeah.
shrinking. So like that might be a better trailer.
Well,
I don't
wonder-
think this was a bad. I would put this in the low A, on the low side of the A, because I thought it was good.
Wow.
It just didn't. It just like I'll probably forget it.
Well, and Zach,
It's definitely better than Avengers.
yeah,
It's
maybe.
definitely better than like something.
I would actually put it kind of right next to Avengers.
What?
It
What's
did some of the
that
same-
next to Avengers?
Iron Man 3.
No, this was better than Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 made me want to kill myself.
Holy shit!
Damn, Gina, you're that close.
Damn.
One trailer.
You know, it's interesting. Like this trailer borrows some of the test footage stuff from the Comic-Con teaser that Edgar Wright brought, like him running on the barrel of the gun.
Yeah.
Just that personally, that makes me feel like I
No,
should dock it
that
points because it
doesn't.
kind of borrowed from someone
You
else's
can't.
work.
You're overrated.
Yeah, you're right. But
I think-
something you said, Zach, earlier made me think like, oh, you were talking about the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. That trailer is probably, I haven't watched it in a long time, probably going to try to sell itself next to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering when we do go back and do Phase 3, if they're going to try to market these movies as like cinematic universe plays, whereas the first two phases have all kind of been like, no, we're marketing the movie.
Yes.
But I think that Ant-Man and the Wasp may be like, yeah, this is like gonna matter for Infinity War. And
Yeah, I would put this high B, I guess.
the chat says B.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I agree. Just because of, and I think because of how close to the modern era it also released, it benefits from that.
Yeah,
Again, it
looks
feels a little bit
smoother.
more
It
modern.
does feel more dated than I think Guardians of the Galaxy.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. But I
Which-
think it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's always easier to make weird creatures look timeless than it is to make humans look like smooth. Like,
Giant ants.
Interesting
are pretty
take.
weird.
yeah. I mean, I would put this
Okay,
a high B.
so-
It's definitely better than Avengers to me. It's definitely better than
You can
than
put it at the
Iron
top
Man
of
3.
B, maybe top of B. Okay, so now we've gotten through Phase 1 and 2.
Top of B.
Looking at our list, we have one S tier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1, feels right. A tier is Winter Soldier, Iron Man 2, First Avenger, and Iron Man 1.
Yep.
Feels right.
We might have gone a little high on First Avenger, but that's fine.
Maybe.
B tier, Ant-Man, is that Age of Ultron?
Yep.
Iron Man 3 and Avengers 1. That feels fair. And then, once we're in the dregs, we got Incredible Hulk, Thor 1, Thor 2.
Man, Thor 1 scoring so low. I mean, it was not good.
They weren't good trailers. I mean,
boring.
now again, if we get to do this again, Ragnarok had a pretty sick first trailer.
Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah, dog.
What
yeah.
a leap for that franchise, just trailer-wise and also film-wise.
That has
That's
Immigrant Song, right?
That's a
Is that
really good
that
point.
trailer?
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
also has the like.
I know
oh,
him
he's
from
a
work.
friend from
Yeah,
work.
from
All-time classic trailer line.
That was when they finally were like, okay, we understand what the tone of this should be.
Yeah.
Like that was truly because I mean the
And then they
first
tipped a little too far for Love and Thunder.
that's true. That's true.
Which
Yeah.
also had some good trailers. The first trailer for
Oh,
Love and Thunder,
yeah.
not
Yeah,
bad.
that's true.
With the workout montage.
Jane.
Yes. Okay, I'm okay with this list. Again,
I'm
there's
good
probably
with
a couple
this.
you could nudge up or down. We might have gone, again, high on First Avengers, maybe
think so.
low on OG Avengers.
Maybe
No,
maybe
I think it
low
was bad.
on OG Iron Man. I would, but I think
Yeah.
we were reasonable.
Yeah,
when
we
did this.
had
Sometimes when we do a
reasons.
tier list,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
go
yeah.
kind of crazy.
No, no,
And I also
It's
feel
reasonable.
like we almost need a control group in here. We need to watch the Black Adam trailer to be reminded
Yeah,
of
right,
what
right,
most
right.
trailers are like. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle in a little bit of Birds of Prey here to remind ourselves of. Actually, that was probably a good
Hey,
trailer.
Birds of Prey had a good
Yeah,
trailer.
I was trying to pick a random DC movie. That was a bad choice.
Yeah, this is also I think the friendliest we've ever been on a tier list. To be honest, we've mostly agreed within within a.
Well,
within
and I
a-
guess if we were being more brutal, we might have bumped some of those C's down to an F. Right? We're probably
Totally.
grading on a curve because
Yeah.
we have some affection for a lot of those films.
I saw some people in the comments saying this would have been a trailer I would have put in D tier if that had existed. Now, F tier is D tier or whatever, right? Like it's the tier below C. But maybe there is a little bit of psychology going on where we're like, well, it's not an F.
Well, because F to me means like they failed at everything.
This
Like,
means I
there
don't want to
is
see this
nothing-
movie.
Yeah.
This movie's off my list.
Or the
because
Dark
of this
World.
trailer.
Redeeming, and I would argue that like even the worst of these trailers are better than some trailers I've seen. Like you were giving.
And if we were watching all Marvel trailers up until the present day, I feel like a lot of these would get moved down.
Maybe.
Marvel's gotten so much better in the last 4 years.
I mean, like I said, that first Thunderbolts trailer when it's like, let them say you were crazy, and then like,
Actually, was that the second Thunderbolts trailer?
No, the second
I thought,
one was Under
no, I thought
Pressure.
Where Is My Mind is the first Thunderbolts trailer.
maybe it was a
There's
teaser.
a teaser. I mean,
Okay.
that's
There's
the
a
hard thing about this.
teaser.
We are doing, sometimes there's a teaser, but we're doing trailers for this.
But even like because they used that song and then they used Under Pressure by David Bowie and they've gotten much better at timing things to the music.
Yes.
So that it doesn't just feel like some kid at home is like, I'm gonna set these action scenes to our song.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Happy.
Deadpool and Wolverine had banger trailers, all of them. You know,
Yeah,
we already-
Deadpool and
Guardians
Wolverine's such a great
3,
one.
Wakanda Forever. Like, there's a lot of good
Yeah.
ones. You'd be interested to watch like
mean,
the Marvel's first
Quantumania was
trailer.
great.
Quantumania trailer was excellent. Be interested to rewatch Marvel's Black Widow, some of the like Shang-Chi. Like, I don't remember those trailers that well.
Oh, the Shang-Chi trailer was great because it was the bus. It was like the bus sequence,
Sure.
and then you got Aquafina sort of like being like, "Have a nice
Now I'm
day."
out, and now I'm out. Okay.
Damn.
No, I like that movie. Okay, well, you know what, folks? If you want to hear the actual tier rankings, you're going to have to vote with your views and get us to do more of these. Thank you so much for watching, though. Sticking with us for damn near 2 hours.
Yeah,
Wow,
who would have
incredible.
thought?
I thought this was going to be in and out. Yeah, thank you guys so much. If you liked what you saw and you want to vote in the chat next time, come follow us on Twitch where we do these videos live. Sometimes we can't do them on YouTube because we played a bunch of copyrighted music in this episode. So check it out. Or if you're watching the VOD and you want to watch us react to these trailers, come watch the VOD on Twitch. It'll be up for the next couple of weeks. You can watch it there. Follow Breakroom NR on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. We'll see you guys next time. Later.